Hello guys, welcome back to my new video. My name is Peng and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm basically sitting on the floor. Today I am going to be showing you how you can start your own lab with an IKEA box. And I'm gonna get started now.
The first thing I do is spray the inside of my IKEA steel air box with 70% alcohol. I try to reach every accessible surface including the floor, walls, corners, the areas around the arm openings. I leave the surfaces visibly wet for around 30 to 60 seconds and allow the alcohol to air dry completely. Never use an open flame near alcohol or inside a plastic steel air box. While we wait for the alcohol to evaporate, I'm going to give you 3 very important tips. Number 1, minimize your movement. Move your hands slowly and deliberately while working. Fast or unnecessary moves create an air turbulence which can move contaminants around inside the box. Number 2, position yourself correctly. Avoid placing your steel air box directly in line with an air conditioner or fan. Moving air can travel towards arm openings and enter the box. Number 3, control the room. Close nearby windows and doors, and turn off anything that could create strong air movement around your workspace. Because this is a still air box, we want the air inside around it to remain as still as possible. Before placing anything inside, I put on a clean pair of gloves and spray with 70% alcohol. Then I allow the alcohol to evaporate before continuing. I am a big advocate for wearing gloves whenever you're handling chemicals. They help protect your skin and also reduce the chance of transferring oils, dirts, and microorganisms from your hands into your workspace. Just make sure you're using gloves that are suitable for the chemicals you're working with. I then place my forceps, scalpel, and stainless steel tray inside. You don't necessarily need expensive medical grade equipment to get started. You could borrow a pair of stainless steel tweezers from your sister. I'm just kidding. Please buy a new pair and keep them specifically for tissue culture. For cutting, use a clean, appropriate cutting tool and work on a hard, stable surface that won't slip or be damaged by the blade. Avoid anything unstable, cracked, or likely to chip while you're working. I want to add a quick disclaimer here. This is not the perfect way to perform tissue culture, and a still air box is not equivalent to working inside a proper laminar flow hood. This is simply a budget-friendly method for beginners who want to start learning without immediately investing in expensive equipment. Yes, contamination can still happen. In fact, you should expect some contaminations while you're learning. I'm not presenting this as a gold standard laboratory method. I'm sharing a practical setup that can make tissue culture more accessible to beginners working with a strict budget, so please don't come for me. I'm just trying to share free information and help more people get started. Now, let's continue. Next, I place my prepared media inside the steel air box. If you haven't watched my video on how I prepare tissue culture media, you can check it out after finishing this video. And if you don't have an autoclave, don't worry. I've also made a beginner-friendly video showing you how you can prepare the perfect media even without the autoclave. Now, here's one of my budget cheat codes. I take a new PP plastic bag, carefully nick the corner open, and spread the bag out without touching inside the surface. Because the inside has less direct handling and exposure than the outside, I use it as a disposable cutting surface for my explants. However, it is important to understand that the inside of this bag is not guaranteed to be sterile. The heat used during plastic manufacturing does not mean that the finished bag remains sterile during packaging, transportation, or storage. I only treat the untouched inside as a relatively clean disposable surface, not as a true sterile surface. I lightly spray the working area with 70% alcohol and leave it wet for the appropriate contact time.
Okay, the idea now is to minimize any movement you're gonna make. Like you don't want to move around, like move your body, move your hands are fine, but you don't want to create like a turbulence. Ideally I shouldn't even be speaking because my saliva might be inside the culture.
Today I'll be working with Alocasia sculprum aurea, which I successfully established in vitro. This will be the second round of subculturing. I'll be transferring the plantlets onto fresh media containing 1 mg per liter of BAP. Sorry if my hand blocks the view at certain points. It can be quite difficult to film while working inside a steel airbox. And if you're curious to see how this culture develops after 1 month, make sure you stay until the end of the video. Here I made a few careful cuts using fresh sterile blade. I then gently tapped the explant to move any old agar that is still attached. After that, I transfer the explant onto the fresh media while trying to avoid letting the forceps touch the agar surface unnecessarily.
You can see it. It's here. Just gonna close it. And then I'm gonna return the forceps into the alcohol.
So that's it for the first jar. I'll now repeat the same process with the remaining cultures.
This is I'm gonna throw it away.
I'll be cheating a little here by using an autoclaved cloth, since I didn't have any food-grade paper towels available while filming. You can use a clean food-grade paper towel to gently wipe away the excess water from the surface. I'm going to speed up the video from here since I'm simply repeating the same process with the remaining cultures. Before I'm finished, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. I've received so many positive comments on my recent videos, and many of you have also reached out to me through my other social media platforms. I honestly cannot express how grateful I am for all the encouragement and supports. Creating these videos take a lot of time and effort, so knowing that they are genuinely helping people makes everything feels worthwhile. I'm still learning, experimenting, and improving alongside all of you, and I really appreciate everyone who shares their own experiences, asks questions, or simply leaves a kind comment. Your support has motivated me to continue making more tissue culture content and to explain the process as clearly as I can. And here are the 3 jars after a month. As you can see, all 3 cultures are noticeably larger and have continued developing on their media containing 1 milligram per liter of BAP. I have noticed some browning on a few of the leaves. I'm not completely sure what caused it yet, so I don't want to make any definite conclusions, but if I'll have to guess, it may be related to stress from cutting and subculturing. But the good news is that I don't see any visible signs of contaminations in any of these 3 jars. And overall, the cultures are still growing, and I'm quite happy with the progress so far. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful and would like to see more beginner-friendly tissue culture videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll also leave the links in the description to some of the tissue culture products that I personally use. You can get 10% off by using my discount code, and I may also receive a small commission from your purchase at no additional cost to you. There's absolutely no pressure to buy anything, but using this code is a simple way to save a little money while also supporting the channel. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.